Welcome to Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Here we go again, another TV program regarding the crime wave across Albuquerque. When is it going to end? We don't know, but we do know that you have power. We know that you have power with your vote. You can vote for city council members, you can vote for the mayor, you can vote for the governor. That is your power. That's my power. But we also have power by attending the Community Policing Council meetings. They're held monthly at the 6 area commands, the foothills, the Northeast Heights, Southwest, Northwest, Southeast, and the Valley. And I've been told by my guest, who is the liaison with the Community Policing Council, that there is power in attending those meetings. You can learn what is going on in your community, what is going on in your neighborhood. You just don't have to read it in the paper or hear it on TV about the crime wave, but you can hear what the police are trying to do about it, and you can share your ideas of what you believe the police should be doing or not doing in your neighborhood. So please stay with us as we discuss the Community Policing Council and how they're starting a new program called Support One Monthly. We're going to find out what that program is right after this. Please stay with us.
The National Education Association of New Mexico, a union of teachers and school staff, believes every child deserves to learn at a school that inspires their imagination, cultivates their curiosity, and ensures a fulfilling life. Public schools should provide all our students with small class sizes and one-on-one attention. NEA New Mexico asks you to join us so together we can end the teacher and staff shortage and invest in our public education system once and for all. Sponsored by NEA New Mexico.
Welcome back to the program. Don't you want to have power? Power to let someone know what's going on in your neighborhood. Let someone know what your ideas are, how we can keep ourselves safer, our property safer, our homes safer, ourselves safer. Well, there is power in attending the Community Policing Council meetings, and that's what the liaison is telling me, and that is Kelly Mensah. Thank you so much for being a part of the program, and thanks for all that you're doing to support our communities, being the liaison.
Thank you, Diane. I appreciate you. It's definitely a blessing to be able to speak about this program.
And you told me there is power. And we have 6 area commands. We have meetings every month. Now they're virtual, but they might be hybrid. They used to be in person. People can go attend. Usually they're around 6 o'clock, one area at 6:30. But by attending, people get to share their ideas of what they think the police could be doing, or I say not doing, but also they can learn more about what's going on regarding their communities and safety, something that's really critical, very critical to all of us.
Yeah. What we are doing with the Community Policing Council, our mission is to promote community policing in Albuquerque. And in Albuquerque, we've had issues, as I'm sure most people would know, if you keep up with the paper and the news, with the policing and the methods that have been used for a long time. So in 2014, the Department of Justice put us under the CASA, which is the Court-Approved Settlement Agreement. And one of the issues of the CASA was to make 6 community policing councils, one for each of the area commands in Albuquerque. And so we now have a pretty good, after 6 years of trial and error and doing things differently, we have a pretty good group of people and a set of topics and a way of doing things in which we think we make some sort of difference with the community. We're doing our best to constantly tinker and try and do new things at all times.
Fantastic. That's, again, finding out what's going wrong, possibly, and how police officers are handling crime, but also they share various topics and tips of how to keep ourselves safe. You are part of the program of coming up with the various topics. Can you share what kind of topics people can learn about at these commands, what you've had in the past, and perhaps what you might have in the future?
Well, we try to keep our topics local if possible. You know, obviously we're in one city and we're all residents of Albuquerque, but the Valley and the Northeast and the Northwest and the rest of the neighborhoods and the area commands have different issues. For instance, we've done a couple of meetings up in the foothills and also the Northwest on street racing.
Oh, street racing.
Yeah,
Yes.
There's definitely a lot of that going on, people going too fast. And in Albuquerque last year, we had 49 deaths by collision with pedestrians. So
Wait, Kelly, what? 49 deaths
from
collisions?
with pedestrians, yes. So
Some of those due to racing?
going too fast, not observing traffic rules, that sort of thing. So yeah, this is a very important topic in a couple of neighborhoods. So we've done this one, and we've had the police tell us what to do. Don't call 911, call 242 cops, for instance, or you can go online and file it that way, because it's not really an emergency unless.
Well, it sounds like kind of an emergency if people are dying from it.
It is, but until there is an incident, unfortunately, it's not really considered an emergency. You call 911, it's a long wait because,
Because everything else that's going on in our city, Kelly.
Yeah.
So just regarding that one topic of street racing, I didn't realize in the Northwest, what area in the Northwest are they racing?
They're racing on cores at night and up, what is it?
Okay.
West of cores.
Up on the Mesa there.
Yeah.
So not call 911, but what, 242 cops?
Yes.
What are we able to do to stop the street racing? What have we learned in these meetings?
The main thing is to let your local area command, your police officers and commanders know where it's happening, because we only have so many officers on to cover a 24-hour shift in all 6 areas. So if they know where it's happening, generally, we've heard it this night here, we've heard it Tuesday here, Thursday here, then they'll know where to send officers and where to set up patrols. So
that's really a good example, Kelly, of the community getting involved and helping the police officers be their eyes and ears.
Right.
Really the ears, right? Because they can hear all those racing. But again, they can attend the meetings and then share that this is happening in their community. Can you give some other examples, effective examples like this one, and what's going on in various area commands and how the public can get involved and help the police officers?
Well, in the Northeast Area Command in January, the topic was the academy. What you need to know about the police academy, how long it takes, what the requirements are going in, how they recruit, the amount of tests, the physical, etc., how many people they expect to graduate, how many graduate from each class, because one of the issues APD is facing right now is simply being able to recruit enough police officers to cover the ones who leave. One of the great aspects of being a police officer is you can retire after 20 years, and a lot of them want to take that opportunity. If I had it to do over again, maybe I would have been a police officer.
You'd probably be retired by now?
A long time ago.
Oh, long time ago. Okay.
But yeah, so we're trying to come up with new, innovative ways to be able to attract people, and that's one of the things the Albuquerque Police Department have asked us. Another thing
is what they've asked the police asked the policing council to kind of spread the word on how to
spread the word, and how do we attract people in communities that are not normally becoming police officers. African Americans, Native Americans, Asians, immigrants, lots of people, women. So because we have a pretty good spread of police in this community, but it could be better, So it could be more groups, more people, and then we can get those 200 police officers or so that we're missing right now. APD would like to get up over 1,000,
So you're showing how, again, the police are going to the council asking for you to tell the public about how to attract. And then you gave us the other example of how the public is using the police council to tell the police how to stop the racing.
That's right. It's supposed to fit together like a hand in glove. And, we've got some challenges. These are 6 separate councils, and they each run their own way. So everyone does things a little differently. But we are trying to make this a little more streamlined so that we make Albuquerque into one web of citizens helping each other out.
Anything effective that you've heard that the council has, you gave us those examples, other effective ways that the council has worked together and you as the liaison kind of between everybody?
Well, for instance, we just spoke about the street racing. Back last August, the Northwest Community Policing Council made a recommendation one of the things we have the power to do is make recommendations, which the chief looks at, the chief and also the DCs in the police department. They look at and they decide whether this is good or bad. And according to the CASA, they have to respond to us within 45 days as to whether they agree or don't agree. So they did this in August. And now, just in January, the mayor came up with the mayor's initiative to combat traffic. They didn't give us credit, but we had to have just a little bit.
Human traffic? What?
No, to combat traffic violations. So APD in January just came out with a new initiative to be a lot more fervent on giving tickets, getting red light offenders, all sorts of things that have to do with traffic, just because we've had so many accidents. And I'm sure APD came up with it, but it can't hurt that we made the recommendation at the same time, 6 months. So
because that's what the public, I imagine, was it Kelly, throughout the whole city of Albuquerque, that these traffic violations are actually just coming to the studio today?
Yes.
Oh, a car weaving in and out of the. I mean, he thought I was going too slow, but then he found the guy next to me was going too slow, and the next guy, I mean, he was just weaving throughout.
I've lived in a few places. I think we've got some of the worst traffic issues here. You know.
And you are from New York City.
I'm from New York City, yes, and you know things are different here. I mean, people drive fast in New York, but it's different. It's different in Albuquerque.
So then, again, that was brought by the council to the police, and they are going to, I guess, start cracking down?
Yes, they are. They are. This is the mayor's new plan and APD's new plan, just to write more tickets for traffic violations. And there is subsequent benefit on this as well, because when you do traffic violations and you stop people, then you might find warrants as well. So, you know, you might find somebody who's got a warrant for a felony, and then we have them in a safer, more isolated situation.
And these traffic violations, Kelly, are mainly the speeding, the going through, red lights,
stoplights, illegal turns. We've got a lot of road rage nowadays in Albuquerque. People yelling at each other, cutting each other off, just general bad driving.
And again, this is from someone from New York City.
Yeah, we drive really fast in New York, and you hear a lot of interesting language, but for a smaller town, yeah, we definitely have a representation here.
Which is not good for all of us.
I wouldn't say so.
I appreciate you being in this program. What message would you like to get out to the public? And again, we're doing our best, you as a liaison, me working at KCHF TV, about this crime wave in New Mexico, but that we do have a little bit of power to combat it.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the police are not bad people. I know many of them personally. They are people who have a job, and they do, for the most part, they do the best to get their job done. And they are your citizens in Albuquerque. I think that policing is changing over the last few years, not just here, but nationally, because we used to have a thin blue line mentality in which the police felt they were separate in some ways than the community. And we're trying to instigate community policing all over the country, not just here. And that means the police ask the neighborhood for their opinions, the neighborhood get in a little more friendly with the police, and then information is passed back and forth. There are some challenges to that. In Albuquerque, we have many different communities. We have people who don't speak English. We have, a lot of challenges, but it's a long-term process, and I feel like we're on a good road now.
And there are challenges, and some people are not trusting of police officers.
This is true, yeah.
And that's, again, one reason CASA, the court-appointed program, did a point that we have this community policing council here in our city.
Yeah, there were a lot of many police-oriented shootings. We were up in the top in the United States per capita for a decade or so. So it has been, there is a reason CASA exists, as controversial as it is, and as much argument as it garners. There is a reason that we were under CASA in the first place. And, it's not perfect, but we're all trying to make the best that we can. And with the Community Policing Council, what we are simply doing is trying to help the police do their job.
Helping the police do their job the right way, the correct way.
That's
without
right.
abusing people's civil liberties.
That's right. That's
but
right.
still getting the job done.
Yes. And we're not an oversight agency. The city of Albuquerque does have the oversight agency as well, but that's not us. We are the Community Policing Council. And we really just want to communicate, collaborate, and consensus build. That's our motto. So communication, collaboration, and consensus building to make a better outcome.
You mentioned that you're going to have a support one monthly meeting.
Yes.
But first we want to get people to go to meetings.
That's right.
Your support one is mainly just 2 more hours. If you're dedicating 2 hours right now, maybe you can dedicate 2 more hours at another meeting, not
Right.
just in your neighborhood, but somewhere where you work,
Yes.
where you work out, where you go jogging.
If you live in the Northeast and you hike up in the mountains and the foothill, well then what happens in the foothills might be of importance to you. If you go eat at a few restaurants every now and then in Nob Hill or go see a show at Pope Joy, well then in the Southeast meetings might become important to you. If you're going to Cottonwood to go shopping, well then that's important. I mean, if you get your car broken into while you're parked at Cottonwood, that's an issue, right? So we want to know what's happening in these other neighborhoods. So I say support one if you're already registered. If you're registered to go to one meeting a month, just go to one other one. It's another 2 hours, and we're trying to make a nice web across the city in which people who are interested in community policing in Albuquerque and interested in the goings-on of the police department can get in touch with each other, can speak to their neighbors, their nephews, their families, their coworkers, et cetera, and say, well, this is happening in my neighborhood, what's happening in yours? It really is up to us. It's not up to anyone else, so it's not going to happen otherwise.
Hey, Kelly, repeat that.
It is up to us. It's not up to anyone in the courthouse building. It's not up to anyone in Washington, D.C. or in Santa Fe. It's up to the community to support community initiatives like the Community Policing Council.
And those who may complain about the crime wave maybe has something now to do about it by attending these meetings.
Yes.
And where can we find more information on all of this? And again, I have the list of the meetings such as the Foothills, second Monday of the month, Northeast, second Tuesday, Southwest, first Wednesday, Northwest, that was Southwest, Northwest, third Wednesday, Southeast, third Thursday, Valley, fourth Thursday. So that's a mouthful for me to say, but
Right.
you can find the information where?
We've got a very long mouthful of a website for the city of Albuquerque. But I say just go to your search engine, and I hate to say Google, but Google or whatever, and put in Albuquerque Community Policing Council. And our website will be the first one. What do we have on there? We have the minutes for the monthly meetings in the past. We have the agendas for the meetings coming up. We have all the meetings taped with the subject, with the speakers, with what they discussed. We have information on the council, on joining the council, as well as the application. We call it a statement of interest because it's not a job, it's a privilege, right? And we also have a welcome packet in which you can read all of the information on the history of the CASA, from Mayor Berry's first letter authorizing the CASA, before the CASA, I should say, all the way through what we're doing now. So there is a lot of information in there, the names of the chairs, the co-chairs, who to get in touch with, et cetera. So
Who are the chairs, and how does this relate to Neighborhood Watch program, Kelly?
Well, the Neighborhood Watch programs are also run in accordance with APD, as we are as well, but we're not part of APD. And we invite all of the Neighborhood Watch captains to our meetings because it's quite important, you know. If you're in a neighborhood watch, you're probably civically oriented, and we'd like to take advantage of that. We'd like to take advantage of you knowing what's happening. One thing we do at most of the meetings is give the area crime report. What sort of crime was there over the last 30 days? I mean, what sort of violent crime, nonviolent crime? What are the hot spots? What are the areas you need to look out for? What are the times? So this can be very beneficial to a community member who's out of the house doing things, right? So that's one of the things we do that seems to attract a lot of viewership.
And again, that's attending the meetings, but also you can read about it if you can't attend a particular meeting, just the minutes from that meeting would include all those crime statistics as well.
And we do have every meeting taped up on our link, YouTube or Zoom. You can fast through, go forward, backwards, get the information you want in accordance with the minutes. So.
And you had mentioned, I think could be as many as 50 people, as high as 65 attending from a particular command. Yes. You said the Foothills has kind of the highest attendance.
Generally, yes. We've got the most retirees in the Foothills, the people who are most stable. So that has a lot to do with community service in general. You know, what your income and your situation is in life. But we get anywhere from 15 to 50, 55 people per meeting. And then we also get guests. We're going to have a few members of APE on in each meeting. We're going to have the council members themselves, and in each council there are between 5 and 11 members. We can have a maximum of 11. There are generally 2 officers, which is a chair and a co-chair, who come up with the ideas, decide the meetings, and disseminate the information to the council members. And they come up with good topics and good guests, and that's...
So the council has between 5 and 11 core members.
Yes.
Are they're not elected, but they're chosen? How are they chosen? They apply
yes.
to be a council member.
If you go on the website, you will see statement of interest. And what happens is you will send in your application. It comes to me, and I disseminate it to the council member in your area command. There's a map there, which you put your address in, and it'll tell you which command you're in. And then they will bring you on for, we don't like to call it an interview, but it is, you know. So you get to meet the other council members. You get to tell them why this is important to you, why you want to do it, and how you might be able to fit in, what you have to offer. And really, it's not a difficult and process. We don't ask for a lot. We just want you to have the time available, maybe 8 hours a month per se, to be involved, to offer something, and to really want to help your community. That's
Are you requesting maybe a 6-month commitment to be on the council? What kind of commitment?
No, there is no commitment. I mean, it's volunteer work. So if you go on for a couple of months and you say, I don't have time for this, this is not for me, well, that's fine, right?
And how do they elect a chairman? They vote on it? The council members, the 5 to 11 council members vote on the chairman?
That's right, yeah. Every January we have an election for council chair, and then we have the council of chairs in which all the officers meet one Saturday a month, and they figure out a general direction for the Albuquerque Community Policing Council. There's a chair of that also, who currently is Rowan Wymark of the Valley. So.
And again, members of the public they're not members of the council, but they're members of the community and are invited to attend and observe these meetings. And you said there's a question and answer period for the public at the meetings? There
is, yes. We're doing it through chat now because the meetings are on Zoom. So you put your questions in. On a couple of councils, they'll upgrade you. They'll let you speak if you want to. But you put your questions in to APD, to the guests, to the council members, and they answer appropriately per your question. And we will probably be going back to hybrid meetings soon, in which we will have the council members in live. And if you want to come live and voice your opinion and you're part of the community, that's fine. And if you want to follow online while you drink a beer at home, that's fine too, you know. So we're going to have both capabilities once we can get that together.
Fantastic. Kelly, what are some of the other topics that you've had or going to have this year?
Let's see. We have had human trafficking. We have had, how to help people who are returning from incarceration, newly returned citizens, they call them, and what the city does for that and what sort of organizations are available. We've had homelessness. We've had youth runaways. We've had, a lot of...
I think you've had the other one about the new system of policing where they're sending behavioral managers.
That's right. ACS, Albuquerque Community Service. This was come up by Mayor Keller, in which he decided that they didn't want officers taking so many what you would call social service calls. because police officers have their job. They sign up for a reason and they want to do their job. So we are getting social workers, putting them on the streets of Albuquerque to deal with the homeless issues, to deal with a few other issues, domestic, not violence per se, but to try to diffuse domestic violence before it happens. So this is what ACS is for. They're fine people. They're out there on the streets doing the sort of calls that APD used to do, but they're not really tasked with doing anymore. It's a new program. We're just starting in October. So after a year or so, this will probably be a revolutionary program that's going to be reduplicated all over the country.
Mm-hmm. And you were learning about it at the Community Policing Council
That's
meetings,
right. Yeah,
right?
we had the meeting, and we had Mariela Angel Ruiz, who is in charge of the program on it, and she gave all the information on the history of this program, how many people they've hired, how the calls come into 911, and they disseminate them between ACS or between APD, and how they figure that out. It was a very interesting program. It's on the website now.
How can people contact you if they need more information?
You can go with my city email if you like, Mensah, Mensah, @cabq.gov. It's a standard city email with my name, Mensah, if you'd like more information. Or you can Google Albuquerque Community Policing Council and bring up the website. As I said, every piece of information you could ever want on the history, the archives, what we've gone for in the past, our viewpoints, and what we're trying to accomplish is there. And if you'd like to apply for the council, please fill out a statement of interest. We will reach out to you, interview you, and hopefully get you on. If you know someone else who would be a good council member, we'd love for you to pass the link on so we can get them on the council. And if not, if you don't have time, please just show up to your local meeting. Start there.
Right at 6 o'clock for the most part. Kelly Mensah, thank you so much again for all that you're doing. And as the liaison for the Community Policing Council, and to come here to the studio to share with the public this information. And we appreciate KCHF TV for bringing the information to the public as well, because we are in this crime wave and we are all concerned. But thanks to you, you told us we have power, something to do about it.
That's right. It is going to be a difficult time, but it's up to the citizens of Albuquerque. No one else is going to get us out of this. So the first step may be looking into the Community Policing Council. And thank you for having me, Diane.
Thank you again, Kelly Mensah. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Make it a great week with your family. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house. Being part-time really helped because I could have some opportunities that were still in education.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program or to purchase a copy of any Issues and Answers program, visit sunbroadcasting.org or call us at 505-345-1991.